Ladies and gentlemen, there is a door in front of you. You may not see it yet, but it's there. It's not locked, it's not hidden, and it's not a mistake. It was placed there by the hand of God, long before you ever arrived at this moment. You see, life isn't a random series of events. There's a design, a purpose, a divine order, and while we spend so much of our lives knocking on doors we were never meant to enter, chasing things we were never meant to have, there's one door, just one, that was chosen for you. God already chose your door and what's behind it: peace, purpose, calling, not just comfort or success, but significance, the kind that reaches beyond your years and touches eternity. The trouble is, we often don't trust the door. We see others walking through theirs, faster, shinier, easier, and we doubt, we question, we wander the hallway, trying every knob, banging on every opportunity, begging to be let in somewhere, anywhere. But the door that was chosen for you doesn't open with force. It opens with faith. You say, "But I've made mistakes." Let me tell you something. God factored in your failures before He formed your future. The door hasn't moved. Your destiny didn't vanish. The plan didn't fall apart. It's been waiting for you to come back. You say, "But I don't feel ready." You don't have to be ready. You have to be willing. Willing to trust the one who sees beyond what you can see. Willing to believe that your life has meaning even when the path is uncertain. You say, "But I've been waiting so long." My friend, delay is not denial. Sometimes God keeps the door closed not to punish you, but to prepare you. So when it opens, you walk through it with strength, with wisdom, and with humility. So today, I want to encourage you, stop chasing every door. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Stop letting fear convince you that your life is random, forgotten, or second best. Lift your head, steady your heart, and lean into the quiet truth that can change everything. God already chose your door. Your door was chosen by God before you arrived. Before you took your first breath, before you spoke your first word, before the world ever knew your name, God had already written the blueprint of your life. There is a plan in motion that didn't begin when you made your first decision or when you stumbled into a breakthrough. It began in the mind of God long before you existed. The door you are searching for, the purpose you are longing to discover, was not something you created. It was prepared for you, designed specifically for you, crafted in detail, not by accident or luck, but by divine intention. God is not improvising with your life. He is not watching from a distance, hoping things work out for you. He is not confused by your detours or surprised by your delays. Your journey may seem unclear to you at times, but it is not unclear to Him. The door, the opportunity, the calling, the divine assignment, was chosen long before you ever asked for direction. It's already in place, already appointed, already aligned with the timing and seasons of your life. We often grow anxious, wondering which path to take, which door to open, which move to make. And while those questions are real and valid, we must remember that God is not caught off guard by our questions. He knows the end from the beginning. He operates outside of time, and what is uncertain to you is already complete in His view. That's why trust becomes essential. Trust is not blind. It is anchored in the belief that the one who formed you also formed the way. He did not create you with purpose and forget to prepare the path for that purpose. There is something powerful about knowing that your door isn't something you have to manufacture. You don't have to manipulate circumstances to make it happen. You don't have to beg, force, or fake your way into the plan God has already ordained for you. What He has prepared, no one can take from you. What He has spoken over your life cannot be erased by doubt or destroyed by delay. The door is yours, not because of your perfection, but because of His providence. Even when life seems like a series of missed chances or closed opportunities, that does not mean the chosen door has vanished. Sometimes in our impatience, we chase after doors that look impressive but are not ours. We push on opportunities that promise quick success but lack divine alignment. And then we feel lost, like we've missed our moment. But the truth is, what's truly yours, the door chosen by God, will never be missed if you keep your heart turned toward Him. He knows how to bring you back to where you belong. He knows how to redirect your steps without wasting your story. That door isn't based on who you pretend to be. It's based on who God made you to be. He chose your door with your gifts, your personality, your weaknesses, and your history in mind. It fits you. It was never meant to fit anyone else. You don't need to compete or compare or copy anyone to walk through it. And the best part is, that door doesn't require perfection. It requires obedience. You don't have to have all the answers to step toward it. You just have to be willing to trust the God who chose it for you. Even your mistakes were considered in God's design. He saw every flaw, every failure, every detour before you made a single one. And yet, He still called you. He still prepared the way. He still chose the door. That's grace. That's sovereignty. That's love. The kind of love that doesn't give up on you when you take a wrong turn. The kind of grace that weaves even your worst moments into the fabric of His purpose. And while you may feel like you're standing in a hallway, waiting, unsure, remember this. You're not waiting on the door to be built. It's already there. You're simply being shaped for it. You're growing into the version of yourself that can walk through it with wisdom, strength, and humility. The timing is not punishment, it's preparation, because when the door opens, you won't just walk through it. You'll be ready to carry the weight of what's behind it. Chasing the wrong doors leads to confusion, not clarity. In the pursuit of purpose, many people find themselves exhausted, not because they aren't working hard, but because they're working hard in the wrong direction. They're pushing, striving, and stretching to force open doors that were never meant for them. These are the doors that look good on the outside, the ones that promise approval, status, wealth, recognition. But not every open door is a divine one. Not every opportunity is an assignment. And when we chase the wrong doors, we begin to lose our sense of peace, direction, and identity. There is something deceptive about the wrong door. It often appears right. It fits the image we've been taught to chase. It lines up with culture's definition of success. It may even seem to work for others. But just because something works for someone else doesn't mean it was designed for you. And the more you try to make it work, the more drained you feel. Why? Because your soul knows. Deep down, something whispers, this isn't it. But in fear of missing out or falling behind, we ignore that whisper and keep pushing anyway. Confusion sets in when we place our value in what's outside of us instead of what's inside. We begin to seek validation from open doors, hoping they'll prove our worth. We chase positions to feel important, people to feel accepted, and possessions to feel secure. But the wrong door won't affirm your identity. It will drain it. It will ask more of you than it gives back. It will demand compromise, not growth, and the longer you stay, the more you feel lost, even if the world says you're winning. God never called you to chase every door. He called you to follow His voice. The path He sets before you brings peace, even in difficulty. It brings confirmation, not confusion. It doesn't always make sense to the world, but it aligns with the quiet truth inside your spirit. The wrong door might be louder, shinier, more crowded, but the right one feels like home. It fits the shape of your soul. We often confuse movement with progress. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're becoming who you were created to be. When you chase doors out of insecurity or impatience, you can find yourself far from the place God designed for you. And the cost isn't just wasted time, It's misplaced trust. You start doubting not only the door, but the one who promised to guide you. But here's the good news. Even when you've chased the wrong doors, grace is still available. God doesn't shame you for wandering. He calls you back with love. Confusion doesn't have to be permanent. When you stop striving and start listening, you'll hear the gentle invitation to return, to realign, to refocus, and that's when clarity begins to come. You don't need to chase what's not yours. The right door doesn't require you to become someone else. It invites you to become who you were always meant to be. And when you find that door, you'll know it, not because it's the easiest, but because it's the most honest. It fits not just your ambition, but your calling. It challenges you, but it doesn't confuse you. It stretches you, but it doesn't break you. It brings peace, not pressure. So if you're feeling tired, anxious, or uncertain, ask yourself, am I chasing the wrong door? Because clarity doesn't come from chasing. It comes from aligning. From being still enough to hear the voice that leads you. From trusting that the door God has chosen for you doesn't need to be forced open. It only needs to be followed. Faith, not force, opens the right door. Failures don't cancel your calling. We live in a world that is quick to label, quick to judge, and quick to assume that a mistake defines the rest of your life. One wrong decision, one missed opportunity, one failure, and people may say you're finished. But that's not how God works. His calling on your life is not fragile. It doesn't shatter the moment you fall. It doesn't evaporate when you mess up. The calling of God is rooted in grace, not perfection. And grace makes room for failure. Failure doesn't mean you've missed your purpose. It doesn't mean your value is gone or your future is lost. In fact, some of the greatest stories in history, both biblical and personal, have been built in the very place where failure seemed final. It's in that broken place, that dark season, that silent stretch where God often does his deepest work, because calling isn't built on a spotless record. It's built on surrender. Your mistake may have changed your direction, but it didn't change your identity. You're still called, you're still chosen, you're still equipped for the assignment God has prepared for you. The setback may have delayed you, but it didn't disqualify you. God doesn't cancel what he started. He completes it. Sometimes failure is what wakes us up. It strips away the pride. It humbles our ambition. It brings us face to face with our need for God, not just in theory, but in reality. And in that place of humility, we find clarity. We find renewed vision. We find the strength to start again, not from scratch, but from experience. Failure doesn't end your story. It adds depth to it. It gives you a testimony that no one can take away. If you've fallen, don't stay down. Don't accept the lie that you're done. Failure is an event, not a person, and if you're still breathing, God's not finished. He still has plans for you, good plans, purposeful plans, plans that include every piece of your journey, even the parts you wish you could erase. He can use it all. He can redeem it all. There's no failure so big that it can undo the cross. There's no mistake so final that it cancels God's mercy. He knew every wrong turn you'd take before you ever took your first step, and still he called you, still he chose you, still he prepared a future for you. That's not weakness, that's divine love. That's the kind of love that says, even now, you can get back up. And when you do, when you rise from the ashes of your broken moments, you rise with wisdom, with compassion, with a story that can lift someone else. Your calling becomes more than a destination. It becomes a beacon, a light to others who feel like their failures have disqualified them because you've lived it. You know what it means to be restored. You know what it means to be given another chance. and that becomes part of your mission. So don't let failure stop you. Don't let it make you smaller. Let it shape you. Let it soften you. Let it bring you closer to the one who called you in the first place, because the calling still stands, the purpose still lives, and nothing asterisk you've done can change the fact that you were made for more. Delay is preparation, not rejection. When things don't happen on our timeline, we start to wonder if they'll happen at all. We pray, we plan, we wait, and then we wait some more. The silence grows louder, and the longer the door stays closed, the more our minds begin to entertain the lie that maybe we've been forgotten, that maybe God changed his mind, that maybe what we hoped for will never come to pass. But delay is not denial, and it is certainly not rejection. In God's hands, delay is often the greatest form of preparation. We live in a culture that moves fast. We expect instant results, immediate answers, quick promotions. But the things of God are rarely microwaved. They are slow, cooked. Deep work takes time. Lasting fruit grows in seasons, and doors that carry true purpose do not swing open until the person standing in front of them is ready to walk through and carry what's on the other side. Sometimes the delay you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's protection. It's God saying, "I'm getting you ready." We tend to think of waiting as a waste, but in God's economy, waiting is where strength is built. It's in the quiet seasons that your roots go deep. It's in the hidden place that your character is forged. God is more interested in who you're becoming than how quickly you arrive. And if he's making you wait, it's because what's coming is worth the wait. And who you'll be when you get there matters more than getting there fast. During the delay, God is aligning things you can't see. He's working in the background, orchestrating the right relationships, the right timing, the right circumstances. You might think nothing's happening, but heaven is moving. What looks like a pause is often a setup. What feels like stillness is actually strategy. Delay is divine design, because God never rushes what he values. Think of the seed buried in the soil. It spends weeks, maybe months, underground, unseen, unnoticed. But just because no one sees the growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Beneath the surface, that seed is taking root. It's being strengthened for the moment it will finally break through. Your life is the same. You may feel hidden right now, but you are not forgotten. You may feel buried, but you are being rooted. And when the time is right, you will emerge stronger than if the door had opened too soon. The delay tests your trust. It exposes whether your faith is in the outcome or in the one who holds the outcome. Anyone can believe when things are happening fast. But deep faith is forged in the slow seasons, in the questions, in the waiting rooms, in the daily choice to say, "God, I still trust you, even when I don't understand." That kind of faith builds the foundation you'll need when the door finally opens. Some of the greatest leaders, prophets, and voices throughout history experienced delay. They were called but not immediately sent, promised but not immediately placed, because God was preparing them, not just for the opportunity, but for the responsibility. The delay gave them what quick access never could: perspective, endurance, humility, and dependence on God alone. So if you're waiting, take heart. This is not the end of your story. This is the part where you grow. This is the part where you're being equipped. This is the part where trust is being refined. The door will open, not a second too soon, not a moment too late. And when it does, you'll be ready, not just to walk through it, but to thrive on the other side. God's door leads to purpose, not just success. There are many doors in life that can bring you success. Doors that offer money, popularity, achievement, and recognition. The world celebrates these doors and teaches you to chase them. But not every door that leads to success leads to purpose. And not every open door is a God door. The door God chooses for you may not always look impressive to others, but it will always carry eternal value. It won't just elevate your status, it will fulfill your soul. Success on its own is empty. You can reach the top and still feel like something is missing. You can achieve all your goals and still wonder, is this all there is? That's because you were never created just to succeed. You were created to live with purpose, to do something that aligns with your design, your gifts, and your calling. Purpose breathes life into success. It gives your accomplishments meaning beyond yourself. The door God opens leads you into that kind of purpose. It may not come with fanfare. It may not look like the biggest opportunity on the outside, but when you walk through it, you'll know it was meant for you. There will be peace, there will be confirmation, there will be clarity, and you'll realize that God's goal was never just to bless your life. It was to use your life to be a blessing. Purpose isn't always glamorous. Sometimes the God door leads to quiet service, not public recognition. Sometimes it takes you through difficulty before it brings fruit. But every step through that door brings you deeper into who you really are. It grows your character, it stretches your faith, and it impacts people in ways you may never fully see. That's the power of walking in purpose. It multiplies beyond you. You don't have to chase what the world chases. You don't need the biggest title or the loudest applause to know you're walking through the right door. If it's God's door, it will align with His voice, His timing, and His plan. It will require trust. It will require surrender, but it will bring something no amount of worldly success ever can: deep, lasting fulfillment. When you follow God's leading, success may come, but it won't be the goal, it'll be the fruit. The true reward is purpose, the kind that can't be measured in numbers or trophies, but in lives touched, in peace gained, and in knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be. That's the door God opens. That's the path He calls you to walk, and when you walk it, you'll find not just success. You'll find significance. There's a natural instinct in all of us to try and make things happen. We push, we plan. We strive, we think if we just work hard enough, network long enough, or position ourselves strategically enough, the right doors will open. And while effort has its place, it is not the master key. The doors that truly matter, the ones God has designed for your purpose, are not opened by pressure but by trust. They do not respond to manipulation, they respond to faith. Faith doesn't mean inactivity. It doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. But it does mean you move with confidence in the one who holds the door, not in your ability to break it down. It means you don't beg for opportunities, you believe in divine timing. It means you don't panic when things don't go according to your plan, because you trust there's a higher plan already in motion. When you try to force a door open, it often leads to frustration. You knock and knock, but nothing gives way. You try to twist the situation into your favor, but it slips through your fingers, and you're left not only tired, but discouraged. Why? Because that door may not be yours, or perhaps it is, but it's not time yet. Forcing what is meant to be received by faith only adds weight to your journey. It turns peace into pressure and calling into competition. Faith is not passive, it's powerful. It is the quiet confidence that God knows what He's doing, even when the door stays closed. It is the bold declaration that even if you don't see progress today, you believe in the promise anyway. Faith doesn't demand a door to open now. It prepares for when it will. It lives today like the door could open tomorrow. It keeps your character strong, your spirit anchored, and your heart expectant. Some of the most important doors in life don't open because of what you do in public, but because of who you become in private. God is often more interested in your development than your arrival, and faith is what carries you through the unseen seasons, the times when nothing seems to be moving, but everything is actually being aligned behind the scenes. In those moments, you have a choice. Will you force or will you trust? Many people have opened doors through force, only to realize they weren't ready to walk through them. They got the opportunity, but not the peace. They reached the position, but not the purpose. And eventually, what was gained by force is lost under the weight of it. But when you enter through a door that was opened by faith, there's grace to sustain you there. There's a deep knowing that you didn't make it happen. You followed God into it, and that gives you courage and humility. The right door will not respond to pride. It will not open through comparison or control. It opens when you move in step with the one who sees the full picture. You don't have to figure it all out. You simply need to walk in obedience, one faithful step at a time. Sometimes that step looks like waiting. Sometimes it looks like letting go. Sometimes it looks like preparation in the unseen. But each step of faith brings you closer to the place you belong. When you stop forcing and start trusting, something shifts. Your pace slows, your anxiety quiets, your eyes begin to open, and you see doors you couldn't see before. Doors that were never locked, just waiting for the right moment. You realize that faith is not just about believing in what's ahead. It's about believing in the one who's leading you there. And when that door opens, not by your might, but by your trust, it will be undeniable. You won't have to question if it's yours. You'll know. Not because you made it happen, but because faith brought you there, on time, in alignment, and fully prepared.